So parents and teachers, they seem to be having a bit of an issue with students these days. I'm seeing it from a number of different directions. I see a lot of students, I work with a lot of students. I see and talk to a lot of parents as well, and they seem to really be having a lot of challenges. I talk to a lot of teachers as well, and they're having many challenges as well, whether it's kids not reading, whether it's kids not doing homework. Some parents, they don't necessarily want any homework. It's kind of tough to tell because when I was growing up, it was a scenario where we had to do homework. And was that a good thing? Was that a bad thing? Who knows? I mean, I think that practice is important, but at the same time, respecting the fact that, yes, we haven't seen these kids all day. What happens to the dinner time and the family time and all these things? So I think that there are a lot of teachers as well that are just kind of trying to figure out why it is that these students, they're having a lot of problems. They seem to want to kind of blame it on the parents, which I think is not that productive, but there's a case for it. So check out these videos and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Elementary school kids are not reading. Kids are not reading. Kids cannot read. It doesn't matter if your child's at an A school or if your child's at a D school or if your child's at a charter school or a private school. I have seen kids at all areas. They all struggle. They all struggle because they don't have exposure and they don't have consistency with reading. We can blame the Department of Education. We can blame the literacy rates being at an all-time high. We can blame the schools, the teachers, but education teacher of 4 years, I specifically teach kids with learning disabilities how to read and to read accurately. We're not talking about teaching kids to read with special education disabilities. We're talking about teaching kids to read that have not had that exposure and that just cannot read, and no environmental factors included. Exposure and consistency. These two things are most important when reading, and these kids are not exposed to reading at a young age, and they do not have consistent reading, whether that's at school, at home. They don't have enough exposure of reading in general. The perception of teaching kids to read is it is the teacher's job to teach their children to read. It is the school's job to teach their children to read. Have you been in a public education classroom recently? Teacher to student ratio makes it nearly impossible to differentiate all different reading levels consistently. And I'm talking every single day for targeted reading instruction. You can have the most experienced and most knowledgeable reading expert teaching your child. If you are not doing it consistently, and I mean at least 4 times a week, 15 to 20 minutes a session, it's not going to be effective. If you have elementary school kids that are reading at grade level or even below grade level, get them a tutor, get them extra support to give them those skills to have them be successful with reading.
Definitely understand it. I mean, you're all here and we all have kids and we're trying to work it out, or maybe you don't have kids, but you were a kid at some point.
I'm in my 8th year of teaching high school English. All the complaints of kids can't read, they don't know how to write, they can't do the stuff that we used to do when we were in school. I've been seeing that the entire time I've been a teacher. People are going to blame that on the effects of COVID in school and the rise of AI, but like I just said, I've been teaching for 8 years. I have seen this since before COVID, and I've been in classrooms since 2015. Believe me. This has been happening since before COVID. But there is something that we can easily blame. It's not going to be an easy solution, but we can point fingers at the culprit. It is wealth and income inequality. Our students are having issues reading, writing, and completing work because they don't have the same stable home life that many of us used to have. For example, I teach English. We don't have enough books to send home with kids to read so they can practice reading at home. And even if we did, a number of them wouldn't come back, so we'd have to buy more every year, and schools just don't want to budget for that. But even if we had the budget, we'd be sending books home with kids who don't have a stable enough home life to actually be able to do the reading and to do the assignments. And people are going to blame parents for this. A lot of teachers do that. And you know what? That's just an easy scapegoat. Look, you can be mad that parents aren't as present in their children's lives as you would want them to be, but the truth is, it's not that they don't want to be, it's that there is now a system that keeps them from being present in their kids' lives. So we are consistently teaching students who don't have all of the tools to learn. But I have a hypothesis. If you invest more in the schools that are suffering, the schools that really need them, the schools that I have taught in, we will see achievement go up across the board, not just in schools that are typically underserved. We'll see it go up across all schools. And honestly, it is going to take a long time. It's not going to be like an overnight fix. It's going to take a while. But unfortunately, people are not willing to invest the time and resources that it would take. So every time you get a little angry or disappointed that students are having trouble writing essays, writing paragraphs, writing just sentences, citing textual evidence, being able to read something uninterrupted and comprehend what they're reading, remember that it is so much bigger than that kid, their family, the teacher, the school itself. These are symptoms of a larger economic issue, and if we do not change it soon, things are going to continue getting worse and worse and worse, and we are going to let down all of our students.
My son's paperwork from speech says mom refuses to make child do homework after a long day at school, and it made me think about all the things that are not really that important as a parent. My oldest will be 21 in February and my youngest is 6, so I've been a parent for a really long time, and when it comes to school stuff, there are a lot of things that are just not that important, and homework to me is a system that is set up to get people used to working off the clock, and I don't like it. I don't agree with it. It's stupid, and no, I'm not going to force my kids to do homework. They have a C because they're not doing their homework. I am just as proud of them as if they were getting an A. This isn't to say like encourage your kids to be bad students, but like my third son is like so excited about getting straight A's. Like he strives for it. He doesn't even put pressure on himself. He's just really good at school. He's really good at math and science. That's his thing. But my oldest, he's a creative soul. He plays like 6 instruments. He produces music. He creates games. I don't put pressure on my kids to be anybody other than who they are. Also, anytime they want to be late, stay home, or come home early, I say yes. And so far, none of my kids have abused that system.
I know that for myself personally and my children and my family, I mean, homework is pretty important to us. I think that practice, again, is really important, but it's not the same for everybody. And I think that there's, again, valid cases for all of it. And I'm not here to say that homework is bad or homework is good or anything like that. I just think that if we don't have some level of repetition, then it's going to be hard for us to actually learn and have the kids learn as well. But again, we want to keep time for family things and travel and vacation and all of these things as well. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. Would love to hear sort of where you're coming from. I've got a few other videos as well if you want to check those out on the channel. We're also taking a look at some shorts in teaching some of these kids how to read, how to do mathematics, things like that as well. So you can check out our shorts here or check out some books that we have as well. But I hope you're doing well, and we'll just continue kind of moving forward.